What's up, guys? So what's on my mind today? Florida Senate Bill 1580. Okay, guys, let's get into this. Florida Bill 1580, also known as the Protection of Medical Conscience Bill, was signed into law by Governor Ron DeSantis on May 11, 2023. The bill allows healthcare providers and payers to refuse to provide or pay for certain healthcare services on the base of their conscience-based objections. The bill defines conscience-based objection as a sincerely held moral, which is kind of shady to me, or religious belief that is opposed to the performance or provision of a healthcare service. The bill lists a number of healthcare services that may be subject to a conscience-based objection, including abortion, gender-affirming care, and assisted suicide. The bill also provides a number of protections for healthcare providers and payers who exercise their conscience-based objections. These protections include immunity from civil liabilities, prohibition on disciplinary action by state licensing board, and prohibition on discrimination by employers. However, the bill does not allow healthcare providers to refuse to provide emergency care. The bill states that nothing in this section may be construed to override any requirements to provide emergency medical treatment. This means that healthcare providers in Florida are still required to provide emergency care, even if they have a conscience-based objection to the type of care that is needed. This bill does not define what constitutes emergency medical treatment. Emergency medical treatment is generally understood to mean care that is necessary to prevent serious harm. Again, to me, that's an ambiguous statement. Or death. The bill also does not specify what happens to a healthcare provider refusing to provide emergency care. It is possible that the provider could be sued by the patient or the patient's family. The provider could also be disciplined by the state licensing board. The impact of the bill on emergency care is unclear. It is possible that the bill will lead to some healthcare providers refusing to provide emergency care, even when it's necessary. This can make it more difficult for patients to get care that they need. However, it is possible that the bill will have little impact on emergency care. Healthcare providers may be reluctant to refuse to provide emergency care, even if they have a conscience-based objection. They may be concerned about being sued or disciplined. Only time would tell how the Florida bill will impact emergency care. When people sign up to be in the medical field, they don't ask you, are there certain people that you don't want to take care of? It's kind of understood that if you sign up for the healthcare business, that you're there to take care of everybody. As a child in the 70s and 80s, I remember seeing episodes of MASH where the enemy was injured and they brought him to the 4077 unit to be taken care of. It took care of them because they were people, period. And this Florida bill has given healthcare providers the right to discriminate against people based on the healthcare provider's moral sense of what's right or what's wrong. It's been long-standing that there are some religious beliefs that people don't want to violate because of their their God, and I totally understand that part of it. But it's never been because of what a patient decided to do in their personal life. Like, you didn't discriminate against a patient because they were transgender. You didn't discriminate against a patient because they were in an interracial marriage. You didn't discriminate against a patient because of anything that your moral conscience felt was incorrect. Again, the moral conscience clause or whatever, I think is really shady because, I mean, what does that even mean? Moral, I mean, everyone can have a different moral clause that says, I can't take care of this patient because of A, B, C, D, or E. At least with some religious beliefs, they have a long-standing doctrine of why, if you're part of their religion, you don't do a certain thing, like receiving or giving blood. Usually, if you're working with a healthcare provider that has a religious belief on those things, that you can usually work around it, because usually there's somebody in that unit that doesn't have that religious belief. But morals are like a bag of Skittles that you don't know what you got to get when you stick your hand in. It's giving healthcare providers the right to discriminate against patients because of no other reason than a feeling. Why should somebody's life depend on whether or not you have a feeling that they're doing something that doesn't line up with your moral standards? I mean, there's a lot of issues with this, with morality. Moral standards change, and what was once a moral, I even hate saying that word because it's ridiculous on so many levels. The emergency room care or the emergency service care is probably one of my least concerns about the Florida bill. I'm probably more concerned about the care outside of the emergency room, doctor's offices, places like that, places that people receive health care outside of the emergency room, where healthcare workers can have a conscience-based objection, and the fact that they're not delivering emergency care, they're more likely to get away with not delivering any care to a patient at all. What if you're a patient that lives in a rural area and resources are limited? There's only a few healthcare workers in town, and they refuse to take care of you because you're in a same-sex marriage, based on their moral beliefs. Like I said, in the emergency room, it's probably a little bit different because you never know what's coming to you. You never know the type of patient that you're going to get. So you just treat everybody the same. Hopefully they do. But when you're outside of the emergency room, I can see how this morality clause can become difficult for the patient to navigate, to find appropriate care for themselves. I don't understand why people that are in a position to help other people would not want to help them, even if they have a moral objection to what the patient, to what the person is doing. Sure, I understand there are reasons, things that you won't do because of they don't feel right to you. The problem is when I take my feelings about how I feel about something and I project or I put those feelings on another person. Why should you not receive health care? As long as we're in a capitalist system where the capitalist engine works on profit, saying no to a patient for the capitalist insurance company will be easy. And they can base their no on issues that they say they have a moral problem with. And those are the things that upset me about this bill. Okay, guys, that's what's been on my mind today. You guys have a good day. Peace out.